You're listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast, episode number 52. Welcome to the Balanced Educator. We're your hosts, Kaylee
and Josiane from EduCalm. Our intention is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful in all aspects of your life.
Hello there, and welcome to this week's episode of the Balanced Educator Podcast. We are so excited that you are here. Thanks for being here with us and for sharing this time with us. If you haven't done so already, we invite you to subscribe so that you can get our episodes every single Monday when they come out. Now, I just want to take a quick second to thank you guys so much for sharing this podcast with people that you think would be interested in it. Our intention here is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful. And if you're enjoying the show and you're sharing it with people, that allows us to help them out too, so that we're all in this together. I was just taking a quick look at some of our stats on the show, and we just hit over 15,000 downloads. So that's really exciting because it means that we're building up this community of like-minded teachers, educators, parents, in any form, however that looks, whether you're an early childhood educator, you're a parent with young kids or older kids, or maybe you don't have kids in your life at all, but you just enjoy connecting with us here. It's really fun for us. We are enjoying building up this community. So thank you so much for being here. We truly appreciate you. It gives us the opportunity to share the things that we love. So thank you very much. All right. So on today's episode, we are going to be talking about 5 things that you can do when you're feeling anxious. So you may remember from a past episode where I talked about how I was going through a phase, a bit of a season, where I was starting to feel more anxiety than what I had been used to in the past. So during that time, it really gave me the opportunity to develop some new skills and to try out some different practices to help me to balance out those moments where I was feeling anxiety. So what we're going to be sharing with you today are all quick things that you can do in the moment, or if you only have a couple minutes, to bring your body out of that fight and flight state and get back into a feeling of calm, a feeling of balance. So whether you, like many of us, sometimes feel stress, anxiety, anxiousness, overwhelm, I think that these strategies that we share with you today can be tools that you can use to help you in the moment to get back to a state where you're feeling more calm, a little bit more clear in your mind, and ready to take on your next step, whether that's in the classroom or out of the classroom. These are all strategies that you can use in the moment. So let's go to the show.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So today we're talking about what we can do when we're feeling anxious. Right now, that will only take a few minutes. And I use a lot of these ideas that we're going to talk about often in the classroom because I catch myself in moments where I just feel overwhelmed and I start feeling anxious. And right away, I can reach into my toolkit of strategies and use these quick little things to just really help me to calm down and to go back to feeling much better. So, 5 things. The first one is belly breathing. Can you explain that one, Kaylee?
Yeah. So when we're feeling anxious and stressed, we tend to breathe up into our upper chest and our shoulders, and that creates tension. So if we can breathe into our belly, so if when you're listening right now, if you aren't in the middle of driving, just place your hands on your belly just so that you can feel what your belly's doing as you're breathing. And as you take a deep inhale, press your belly out in towards your hands. So you'll feel it expanding like a balloon. And as you exhale, feel your belly emptying. Now you might notice, and especially if you've been holding a lot of tension in your shoulders as we do when we're stressed and anxious, you might actually notice that when you're breathing deeply into your belly, you can actually feel the muscles in your shoulders and your upper rib cage almost like stretching. Do you ever feel that when you do it, Jo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember one time I was having like a lot of pain in my shoulders. I was having this really bad like shoulder, like tight knot that I just couldn't get out. And I went to go see my physiotherapist, and he just looked at me and he's like, you're breathing into your chest. And when we're breathing into our chest, what actually happens is we have these muscles that kind of like attach from our shoulders to our upper rib cage, that those muscles have to contract to lift our rib cage up to and out to expand our rib cage so that we can expand our lungs. But when we're breathing into our belly, what we're doing is we are pulling our diaphragm downwards to extend our lungs more like downwards. So it's the breathing uses different muscles. And as we breathe into our belly like that and like pull our diaphragm down, it allows us to relax our shoulders and just feels really grounding. And that's something you can do anytime, anywhere. And I now catch myself. I'm like, oh, my shoulders are feeling tight. Oh, I'm breathing into my chest. I breathe into my chest when I'm overthinking. So that's like my sign where my body's like, Kaylee, you're overthinking. Go back to belly breathing. And when I get back into that belly breathing, it's like, okay, I'm in this moment again. I'm out of my thoughts and back into this moment, feeling my breathing, noticing how I'm feeling right now and what's really happening in this present moment.
I find like intentionally doing this belly breathing really useful, like before I'm at the point of being completely anxious. So when I feel it coming, and like during my school day, for example, when I start to feel that I'm getting stressed out and I'm being impatient with my students, I will make time during recess to take a few really intentional belly breathing breaths. And it's so helpful. It's like pressing the reset button. And I feel so much better. It's such a little thing and it is so useful.
Yeah. And it's something that I do in the moment too. Like when I'm teaching and I'm starting to feel anxious or frustration rise, you know, it doesn't even have to be obvious. And I will often do it so that my students see that I'm doing it.
And do it too.
Yeah.
They can't help it if you take a deep breath, right?
Exactly. When one person takes a deep breath, you just automatically kind of breathe with them. So I'll do it right now. You almost can't help but just feel that calm when you're hearing someone else take a deep, calm breath. So I'll often model it to my students, but even just noticing the breathing and recognizing where my breath is going, whether, oh, it's going into my chest, or, okay, I'm sending my breath into my belly, it just grounds me back to the moment and calms me and settles me, even if it isn't obvious to anyone else. So yeah, takes
simple, easy technique.
Yeah, can do it whenever.
Number 2, using essential oils when we start to feel anxious.
Ooh, that is one of my favorite things to do, is use an essential oil that makes me kind of evokes the emotion that I want to feel. So essential oils are like the distilled version of a plant. So they've taken a plant and they've distilled it down until all that's left is like the medicine of that plant. So it's pure essential oils. As long as you're, buying an essential oil that isn't just a fragrance sold at the drugstore, but it's a reputable brand. Like I use doTERRA. I really trust doTERRA, and it's a great company. I know Young Living is also a really good one. So totally up to you to choose the one that you want. But when I'm feeling anxious, I really like to put a drop of a calming or grounding essential oil into my hand and just rubbing my palms together and then cupping my palms over my nose and taking nice deep breaths. So my favorite ones to use are cedarwood. That one's really grounding. And
I love that one.
Yeah. As you're breathing, I love the smell of cedar. So having that like distilled, super potent smell of cedar, I can feel myself rooting down as I'm kind of connecting with that tree. You know, if you walk by a cedar tree, you can smell it. It's so fragrant. And so it almost brings me there. It helps me to ground. I really like frankincense for grounding. Any that you really like for calming?
Cedarwood is really my go-to.
Yeah.
But like for me, I often use them at night too to help myself because I've always had trouble sleeping. So yeah, cedarwood, lavender, chamomile. I'm trying to think of what other ones I use.
I have a blend from doTERRA that's called Balance, and one I really like too. But yeah, basically the way that I choose, I have like so many different essential oils, but I just let my sense of smell choose it for me. Like I'll open up my little bag of essential oils and I kind of have my regulars that I always have in my purse, and I'll just smell them and then I'll go, ooh, okay, peppermint. This is really like feeling good to me right now. This is the one that is right for me right now. And I'll just go with what feels right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3, when you're feeling anxious, putting your legs up the wall.
This is one that I really like to do during recess when my students, go out for recess and I have a little quiet moment in the classroom. So basically what you do is you lie on your back next to the wall and you walk your legs up the wall. So the backs of your legs and your butt is touching the wall and your back is nice and flat on the ground. So
you're in an L shape.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll place my hands either just alongside my body with my palms facing up, kind of like in Shavasana or corpse pose in yoga, and it kind of just rolls your shoulders back and opens up your heart. I find that when I'm feeling anxious, I really shrug my shoulders forward and kind of tense up in my chest and like tense up around my heart. So I like that opening feeling. Or I'll place my hands on my belly to just connect to the feeling of my breath. And as I do that, I just let gravity take me and just almost imagine something that helps me to feel more grounded. Like either I'll imagine like water washing down my legs and over my body and like dripping onto the ground, or imagine clouds, or whatever it is that just feels soothing for me.
So why is it that when you have your legs up, why is that calming?
I'm not sure if there's like an actual physiological reason. There probably is. I've heard something about like, the way that your blood flows when your legs are up. I'm not sure. One of the times that I don't know the science behind it.
Yeah. Oh, caught.
But in my scientific as I've been doing experiments on myself and empirical studies of noting how I feel while I do this practice, I just know that it makes me feel good. And it just tends to be a practice that yoga, like through yoga practices and yin yoga, it's a pose that's often recommended for relaxation.
So I thought there was for sure a reason. I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is, but I can't explain it now. You caught me.
It's about time. All right. So number 4, repeating affirmations when we're feeling anxious.
Yeah. So when we're feeling anxious, if you caught our bonus episode, you will probably remember all about how our thoughts create our emotions. If you haven't listened to that episode, I highly recommend you listen to it, because I teach all the details about biologically what's happening and when we're feeling overwhelmed and when we're feeling stressed. But I'll do a little review here. So when we think thoughts, it creates a key for that type of thought. So if I'm thinking a anxious thought of something that I'm worried about that might happen in the future, my brain creates a key for the emotion of worry or anxiousness. That anxiety key goes into my body and locks into my cells. When it locks into my cells, that's when I feel the emotion of anxiety, of anxiousness. And when I'm feeling anxious, now my body has to communicate back to my mind to say, hey, we're feeling anxious here. Give me more thoughts that are along this line. Let's stay in this cycle. So our body and our mind are constantly in communication. Our mind needs to tell our body what to do, how to act in this world. And then our body needs to give feedback to our mind to say, hey, this is what's going on. Like I'm sitting in a chair right now, or I feel like something bad might happen. So you need to watch out for anything bad that could happen. So our body and our mind are just constantly in communication, and that's how it communicates. So when we're thinking lots of anxious thoughts, we're feeling anxious feelings. Now, if we can create a thought on purpose, that feels better. So I always say a better feeling thought. So if I'm starting to feel anxious and I decide instead to think the thought, everything always works out in my favor. Yeah. Everything always works out in my favor. Everything always works out in my favor. As I repeat that, I'm forcing my brain to think a better feeling thought. And as I continue to repeat it over and over and over and over and over, I might start to feel that anxiety is sort of shifting, and I'm starting to feel a better feeling emotion in my body. It's almost like you're starting to purposely feed your body good thoughts and good emotions.
And I think even an affirmation to get started with would be something as simple as, I am calm. I am calm. Like just repeating, I am calm.
Yes.
Or I am calm and balanced, but something just very short and simple like that.
Yes. And affirmations are always positive statements. So instead of saying, I'm not anxious, when you say I'm not anxious, your brain hears the word anxious and starts thinking of the word anxious, right? So it kind of forgets about that not in there. So instead of saying I'm not something, say what you are or and that's what you want to be. So I am calm. Even if I'm not calm right now, I keep saying it until I feel it. It's kind of that fake it till you make it.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Do you have an affirmation that you really like to use?
For me, often just something like everything is perfect or everything is okay or I'm okay, like things like that, like so simple.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Love it.
Number 5, to think of something for which you're grateful when you're feeling anxious.
Yeah. So whatever it is that we focus on grows. So our brain isn't capable of making sense and paying attention to every single thing in our environment. It's just impossible. So our brain is constantly picking out the things that it thinks is important for us to notice and really deleting out the rest, essentially. Your brain just can't take it all in, so it has to make choices. Now, when we're in an emotion of feeling anxious, our body is asking our mind to look for more reasons to feel anxious because that is now our lens. It's like we've put on these anxious sunglasses and we can only see the things through that lens. Now, when we start noticing what we're grateful for, it starts to build momentum and changing that lens and telling our brain to find something else to look at in this environment. So, when you're in a room, just wherever you are right now, just take a moment and notice all the blue things in the room. There's probably a lot more blue in this room than you noticed before. You probably didn't pay attention at all to the blue. You didn't tell your brain that it was important, so your brain didn't look for it. But as soon as you decide that the color blue is important to notice, well, now your brain's going to see it all over the place. And wow, there's so much blue in this room.
As you're saying that, I'm like, wow, okay.
There's a lot of blue in here, right? So it's the exact same thing with gratitude. As soon as you ask your brain to look for things to be grateful for, all of a sudden, there's so much to be grateful for. So we can let our brain go on autopilot and notice all the things to be anxious about. And there's infinity amount of things to be anxious about, but there's also infinity amount of things to be grateful for. And so it's up to us. We have the power to ask our brain to look for the things that we want it to look for that make us feel good, right? Being grateful, noticing all the things that are awesome in your life.
Or the people.
And the people that are awesome in your life feels good. So let's ask our brain to notice the things that feel good.
I love it. I love this list. I think it's so useful.
Yeah. Can we repeat it over so that we can remember our 5 things that we can do in the moment when we're feeling anxious that take less than 5 minutes?
Or choose one and experiment with that even.
Yeah.
So number 1 was the belly breathing. Number 2 was using essential oils. Number 3, putting our legs up the wall. Number 4, repeating an affirmation. And number 5, thinking of something for which you're grateful.
Awesome. We hope that you can put these to use next time you're feeling a big emotion to help shift into a better feeling emotion. All right. We hope you enjoyed this episode and that you have some takeaways that are really going to help you in your life. Now, if you are on our mailing list, we sent you an email with this list of our 5 ways to reduce anxiety in the moment that take 5 minutes or less. If you aren't already on our mailing list, we send out Happy Mindset Monday emails with tips that you can use right away. Oftentimes, they're related to the theme of our podcast. So it's always something that's really useful that you can use in your own life, or we'll give away freebies that you can use in your classroom. So to be able to get whatever freebies we send our mailing list next, you can join by going to www.educalm.com/subscribe. And Educalm is spelled EDUCALME. So again, that's educalm.com/subscribe. Now, in case you haven't heard us talking about this yet, we have an in-person live professional development workshop coming up on April 25th in Winnipeg. We've done this workshop twice already, and they have been so awesome. We've gotten really, really great feedback from the teachers that were there. It is just an awesome half-day workshop where we teach you exactly how to use Educalm Classroom in your classroom to teach mindfulness daily in your classroom. So we give you the step-by-step so that you are ready to start the next day in your classroom. We also give you the chance to go through the curriculum. So in Educalm Classroom, we have modules for you so that you have one lesson for every single day for the entire school year. So we know as teachers that when you're starting a new program in your classroom, it's so nice to just have the time to sit down and look at it and get the creative juices flowing. So we give you guys the opportunity to chat amongst yourselves, and we talk about different ways that we can use the Educalm curriculum within our regular teaching subjects. So how we can do this cross-curricular learning, taking this awesome practice of mindfulness and bringing it into different subjects that you teach. So we're going to be teaching this workshop in French and in English. So you can either sign up for the French workshop or for the English workshop. Either way, you get a 1-year subscription to Educom Classroom along with the professional development workshop. And Educom Classroom is in both languages. So whether you come to the English workshop or the French one, you'll still be getting Educom Classroom in both languages. If you are interested in joining us, you can go to educom.com/Educom Classroom PD. So again, that's educalm.com. Educalm is spelled EDUCALME. Educalm.com/Educalm Classroom PD, as in professional development. So on to what we were up to this week. So this week we are teaching the last module of Educom Teacher. I can't believe how fast this course has flown by. It has been awesome. It's been so fun for me to see the progress in our students and how far they've come and how they've taken what I've taught them and made it their own so that they can feel calmer and more balanced. They've learned routines and strategies. They've learned all about how the brain works. And this week in our last module, we're really bringing everything full circle and concretizing everything that we've learned throughout these past 4 weeks. And as always, we're working on all the behind the scenes stuff where we're creating awesome content for you to help you to practice mindfulness in your life and practice it in your classroom with your students. So we're working on our curriculum in Educom Classroom as always, adding and improving. We've got lots of ideas and fun things that we're working on right now that we're very excited to share. All right. Well, we hope that you have an awesome week and we look forward to chatting again with you next week on our next episode. Hey there, Balanced Educator. We appreciate you and the work that you're doing in the world. We are here to support you, so we've created a free resource library for you to use anytime you want. Resources for mindfulness for you and your kiddos at home or in the classroom. You can get these free resources by going to www.educalm.com/The Balanced Educator. Again, that's www.educalm, that's spelled EDUCALME.com/The Balanced Educator. Thank you for being a part of our Educalm community.